Hey, it's Zane. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well today. Me and Chili have been pretty busy the past week, so apologies for not showing up as I regularly do 3 or 4 times a week. My schedule has been a little crazy of late, but I hope to be getting back to normal in the next week or so. So I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being a part of my audience, for wanting to show up and listen to what I have to share on Bitcoin and essentially how it can make your life better. And that's really what I'm here to share with you. Now, in this video today, I want to really expand on why I believe that right now is your lucky second chance. Now, there are some people out there in the Bitcoin community who are saying that they believe that this is actually our last chance to stack Satoshis, stack sats, as we say, in a meaningful way. Okay, now what does that mean? What it means is that we want to be securing as much Bitcoin as we can, as quickly as we can, so that we can pay it forward for the future. Because there's going to come a time where it's not going to be as simple as just ringing up your broker or going to your online exchange to go and buy 1,000,000 Satoshis. Okay? Now, right now, you can buy 1,000,000 Satoshis, 1,000,000 sats, which is 0.01 of a Bitcoin, because there's 100 million sats per Bitcoin. So 1,000,000 sats is 1/100th, so 0.01 Bitcoin. Now you can buy that 1,000,000 sats right now for just under 1,500 Australian dollars, okay, which is about 95,000 US dollars. And it was only maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago where the price of that 1,000,000 sats was, up around 170, 180,000 Aussie dollars, about 110, 115 USD. And so there is a faction of the Bitcoin community out there who have recently come into Bitcoin, who are scratching their head and maybe feeling a little uneasy, and they're saying to themselves, well, my investment, because that's what they think of it as, it's an investment. And I would argue that it's not an investment, it's something far more transformational than that, but we'll get into that later. But they're thinking to themselves that my investment is down in terms of its paper value by 10, 15, maybe even 20% in less than a month. And I know what that's like, because that's exactly what happened to me when I first started allocating to Bitcoin. And it's not a great feeling, but the thing is that when you understand Bitcoin at a deep level, meaning you've read a couple of books, you've listened to some long form podcasts, maybe you've subscribed to some publications and things like that, anything to just educate yourself. There's people who join my Bitcoin Success Circle, Inner Circle community, who are brand new and they're just wanting to get on the right path, to do this right. They're wanting to learn from myself and others who have sort of been there and walked before them, so that they can follow along and do things in a really easy sequential way, rather than make errors. That's what I'm trying to say. So all of that is understandable, but the thing is that Bitcoin really demands of you to constantly do the work, to constantly reinforce the message of what it does and what it's here to do and its hallmarks. And it's quite difficult because Bitcoin is an asset unlike that we've never seen before. We've never seen anything that is decentralized and completely fixed and finite, that can't be changed and is completely verifiable. Even gold, it's very difficult to know at any time whether you actually have real gold. How pure is it? You can't divide it. It's difficult to travel with it. There are all these spreads in terms of the market price and what you can get for it if you go down to a local bullion dealer. So it's a very difficult asset to manage unless you're holding it, for the longest time, over a long period of time, and over many, many years. It's very, very good at preserving your wealth. But when it comes to something like Bitcoin, it's completely new, and so we're being asked to separate ourselves from a system that we know so well, which is the debt-based fiat system, because we've lived in it for so long. And now we're being asked to completely reshape everything that we understand about money to come and embrace this new system. And Bitcoin is the opposite, because Bitcoin is inherently deflationary. The Australian dollar system is inflationary. The US dollar system is inflationary. All the prices go up. Houses, loaves of bread, petrol for your car, insurance policies, school fees, clothes, you name it, entertainment, everything goes up in that system. When you're in Bitcoin, guess what happens? Everything goes down. It does what a free market is meant to do, and that is that the prices of everything actually fall around you. But again, and I said this on one of my Zoom live streams the other night, you know, in order to accept Bitcoin at a deep level and to understand it at a deep level and to embrace it, as an Australian or an American, you've got to be willing to accept that your house price is actually falling, not going up. Now you try selling that to an Aussie, that their house, their beloved house, that they believe only ever goes up in value, which is true when priced in inflationary dollars, of which we know have no idea how much of those are in circulation at any given time, that will continue to inflate. When you go and price it in the world's hardest form of money that we've ever seen, which is absolute scarcity, which is what Bitcoin is. There's only 21 million hard capped that there'll ever be. So now you go and price your house in an authentic type of money, you see the truth. You see the truth, and that is that your house price is actually falling. And again, I'm not expecting you to get this right now in this moment if you don't already, but the thing is, I'd just ask you to go and price your house or your rental property or whatever it is, property that you're renting from your landlord or whatever it might be. Go and get the value of that price today, of that house in Aussie dollars, and then value that house in Bitcoin today at today's price, and then go and do the same exercise for that property 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you're going to be astounded at what you will find. And that is that the price of that house isn't just going down a little bit, it's actually plummeting. And again, people who understand this at a deep level, what are they doing right now? They're hoarding more Bitcoin while they can, because Bitcoin right now is on sale. They're not fearful. They're delighted that Bitcoin's price has given them an opportunity to acquire more Bitcoin at a discount. Okay? An asset that they know that in time they're not going to be able to buy in this way, right? Once the rest of the world wakes up and they start realizing that they need a place to store their time and energy in abstract form, which is their money, that they know intuitively already is being debased. They know their financial future is being sold out because they're functioning in a currency that they have no control over, right? And as this starts to escalate, guess what? They're going to be starting to look for other stores of value. Now, most people still think that gold is the safe haven. And it is to a large degree, but the point is that you need to be, there's no point investing in gold if you want to grow your wealth. If you want to preserve it, great. For the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 years, fine, no problems. But if you don't, if you're looking to do more than that, if you're looking to actually not just preserve, but also to grow and compound and accelerate your wealth, Bitcoin's the only show in town, because it's absolutely scarce. It's an emerging asset. It's not a mature asset. It's emerging. Adoption is coming. They can't make any more of it. The world doesn't yet know what it is. You're here. You have an opportunity to front run 95% of the population, right? And not only 95% of the population, but the biggest pools of capital on earth, who are already telegraphing to you what this asset is and what they're intending to do with it. BlackRock, they want your Bitcoin. Why? Because they can't make any more of it. They can't issue more shares like they can on the stock market, or create more currency like central banks can do, or pay for their spending programs like governments can do by issuing bonds. Okay? None of that is possible in Bitcoin. And so for those of us who understand this, what we do is we start protecting and preserving our financial lives in a meaningful capacity into this decentralized, fixed and finite protocol. Global permissionless money, which is going to become even more important for you to hold as time goes on, as you start to notice the screws are getting tighter and tighter and tighter around your money, around your wealth, around your savings, around your superannuation, around your retirement accounts, around your rental properties. People can see it, people can feel it, people know it. People know that the future is looking increasingly uncertain in the debt-based fiat system. Okay, so now more than ever, people are moving part of their life as much as they can, rotating capital, storing savings, superannuation, transferring it into a fully compliant SMSF, self-managed super fund, so that they can acquire the best performing asset on earth and take it into self-custody so that they are in autonomous control of that retirement account. People are doing this. Why are they doing it? Because they're not prepared to take the risk associated with keeping it inside the system. So this is a chance, and we can talk about price movements all day long, but I don't really even care what the day-to-day price movement is. Do I know that Bitcoin is down? Yeah, I know it's down, but do I care? Absolutely not. All I care about is where this is going in 5, 10, 15 years from now. All I care about is the financial legacy. All I care about is the peer-to-peer value system that I'm going to be a part of, the global free market economy that I'm going to be participating in, and that you're going to have the opportunity to participate in too. You're not going to be selling your Bitcoin back into fiat dollars, into an Australian bank account. Okay, people are having enough trouble getting their money out of an Australian bank, let alone putting it back in there. So I want you to think about all of this. The future belongs to those who understand Bitcoin at a deep level. It's not just me saying this. Go and listen to the 2-part series with Simon Dixon, which I recently mentioned. I mean, you've got to understand where this is all going. Go and listen to Jeff Booth. Go and listen to Tony Yazbek. Go and listen to these people who are absolutely brilliant, who are far more intellectual than I am at understanding macro and micro and how all this ties together, and how Bitcoin is going to completely leave for dust and reprice the entire financial system as we know it. And those who hold Bitcoin are going to be in a very, very, very fortunate position, and actually, even though I hate this term, they're going to be in a very elite group. Okay, so you get to choose whether you're going to be one of them or not. Don't wait for permission. Okay, your financial advisor, your accountant, your broker, your favorite politician, none of these people are going to tell you, all right guys, we've got an announcement to make, right? We think we'd recommend you all go and start buying Bitcoin because the world's changing fast now. We're going to debase the currency until you can't breathe. We're going to introduce central bank digital currencies so that we can surveil everything about you, every single transaction you make, so that we can switch off your spending as we see fit. They're not going to announce that. You have to be the one that starts to opt out of that yourself. So the world is still asleep to this. I've got a little note here I just scribbled, and I just want to make sure you get this. The world is still asleep to this, which means this is a gift. Once the world wakes up, Bitcoin's price is going to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, and beyond. It's going to continue to absorb all the monetary premium out of the fiat debt-based system. Bitcoin has no top because fiat currency has no bottom. You have to understand that. When you price a finite asset in infinite currency, okay, so a finite asset is what Bitcoin is, and now you're going to price it, because this is what you only know how to do, price everything in Aussie dollars. Now you're going to price that finite asset, the likes of which we've never seen before. You're now going to price it in the only currency you understand, which is the infinite Australian dollar. So I want you to really think about that, how crazy that is. But it's what people do. And so they're pricing this finite, decentralized currency we've never seen before in an infinite Ponzi scheme dollar that's going to zero. That's what people are doing. And when the broader world wakes up to the fact that the value of their currency is going to zero, what are they going to do? They're going to want to do the same thing that the people of Venezuela and Argentina and Turkey and Lebanon and Zimbabwe and all those countries who have had their currencies debased to death, what they all did, and that is eventually they either die or they seek some kind of safe haven. And historically that safe haven has been either the US dollar for most of them, because they see it as the reserve currency, the most stable currency on earth, or gold. Okay, but Bitcoin is eating the US dollar alive, and Bitcoin is far superior to gold because of all of its hallmarks: portability, verifiability, the fact that it's fractional. I mean, you can't break an ounce of gold. I mean, an ounce of gold sitting at, over 4,000 US dollars an ounce. I mean, what are you going to do with it? At least if you've got $4,000 worth of Bitcoin, you can do something with it. You can take it with you, you can spend it, okay? You can convert it to fiat currency. If you want to buy a cup of coffee, you can do all these things with Bitcoin. You can't do it with gold. It's very, very difficult. Try crossing a border with $1 million worth of gold. Can't do it. Cross a border with $1 million worth of Bitcoin, no problems at all. So this is the time to reframe your thinking, and I'm going to leave it there today, but it's just a time to really reframe your thinking. If Bitcoin's price is dropping, it's not a time to panic. Let the people who don't understand what this asset is, let them panic. This is the time for you to be the beneficiary and to be educating yourself at a deeper level, to be leaning in and to be stacking more sats, because this opportunity, I don't think it's going to last for that long. And we're going to get 5 years down the track and you're going to look back and you're going to say, yep, I should have listened back in 2025. There was just a golden opportunity for me to get in, stack, but now it's just so much harder for me to do. So you're very, very lucky. This is a lucky second chance, and please treat it as such. If I can help in any way, if you're ready to take action on this, I can help you in a myriad of ways. I do one-on-one calls with people on Zoom every single week. I also have a private mentorship community that is growing by the day. People join that. There's 6 modules of training in there inside our membership portal. You get private access to me. We do a one-on-one call in that anyway. Anyway, you look for the link in the show notes and you'll see what those things are all about. I want to thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. This is Zane signing out. Bye for now.